We're still looking. There's that rotation we talked about. This is out in the Verdon area and northwestern alongside the Mountain Parkway. We've talked about rotation. We talked about it just about a minute or so ago. So this is in effect till what time, Bill? 7:45. 7:45, Powell County, Verdon, West Bend. This is where we see that rotation, that hook echo that we're noticing there. So, of course, if you're alongside those areas, take shelter now. That means interior rooms, basements if possible. An old saying of if you can punch the outside wall from where you are, get inside a more interior room. 7 miles an hour. So we're mostly looking at Jeffersonville and 719 gives you a little bit of time, about 15, 17 minutes to take shelter and head into an area, an interior room. If you're on a mobile home, try to get to a shelter if you can. If you're in a house, basement if possible, an interior room. As many walls as you can get between you and your outside wall, if it's actually on the ground. There's where we're seeing our shear rate. This is where you can see that rotation, that little red dot just north of Clay City is where that area of concern is. So that's where we've seen, once again, where that hook is, the rotation, where that tornado would be, again, in parts of Powell County. And that's, of course, where it's heading about 17 miles an hour. Jeffersonville, 7:31 p.m. So you have some time to take shelter. Of course, make sure you have as many interior walls. Take a helmet with you. Keep your shoes on as well. And usually late July is not a time where we pick up a lot of severe tornado-warned storms. So this cold front was very much a spring-like cold front that rolled through and had such dynamic changes in dew point temperatures and so what that there was a lot of energy for it to tap into and these storms to develop and leave or potentially produce tornadoes. And welcome back. We're still seeing some showers pass through the Commonwealth. Here's a look around the Commonwealth on our live cameras. Our WLEX rooftop cam, you can see very closely those big tropical raindrops falling. We have such a moist atmosphere that we're getting a lot of big raindrops. Same goes for Lexington Financial Center. But if you're traveling out east, rain has finally made it out to Pike County and Wayne County. They're still fairly dry. For now. Now we will pick up some more rain as the day goes on. A record-breaking day as we had the warmest overnight low for April 3rd into the middle 60s, 64 degrees to be exact. That broke the record of 62 set back in 1956. It's 3 years before my dad was actually born there. 64 degrees. In fact, I think today we'll also have another record warm overnight low because it is just really warm out there. Absolutely clear. Let's see the moment you've all been waiting for. Come on.
Okay, thank you.
Look at that floating head.
This is like my Christmas present. You just like made, I've done TV 10 years. I've never got to do that. Thank you. Folks,
that is why I cannot wear green. I'd love to wear green. Green's one of my favorite colors. I can't, or else I will not exist in the weather plane. Now, as we go up towards the upper level pattern, we start to see where those high pressure systems are. Now, the one in the Rockies is actually in the upper parts of the atmosphere is a little bit to the southwest, and that's going to dominate the forecast over there. In fact, it's going to continue getting hotter over parts of Colorado and further into the southwest, where you start seeing a heat dome build in. Now, what that does essentially is leaves us sandwiched between high pressure in the west and high pressure in the east, and kind of leaves us in what we sometimes refer to as the ring of fire, when it is usually rounds of showers and storms. Now, thankfully, we're not dealing with the rounds, but what we're going to see is this little dip in the upper level pattern that's going to continue bringing more active weather towards the southeast, towards us here in Lexington, and especially for our friends in the north. So that's what we'll continue to see throughout much of the work week, as it'll drive the development for some more pop-up showers and storms, as we'll see into much of, well, Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday and the weekend, although not widespread by any means, but certainly does have a daily chance. By Wednesday, it'll be a little bit more widespread. So high. And welcome back. We're hanging out in the 70s this morning, currently 73. And anyone who went outside yesterday definitely noticed that it was a lot more humid than what it was on Thursday and even back on Wednesday. And that's because we've seen an abundance of moisture return to the Commonwealth, and that's what's going to drive our next chances for strong to possibly severe storms this afternoon. Now, we're hanging out in the 70s. Lots of us are. 73 out in Winchester. Zoom on out in the rest of the Mesonet. Cooler in the east, as per usual, and warm in the south. see all those red arrows just going straight up towards parts of Indiana. If we go on over to what's showing up on Future Track, or excuse me, Max Track right now, as soon as the latest scan does look to load in, we're mostly looking at some showers occurring across parts of western Kentucky. And that's where we've seen some lightning also as well. And most of this is going to stay subsevere. In fact, I do think a lot of it will be. Our severe chances aren't going to arrive until later this afternoon, especially looking past 2, 3 o'clock when we have some time to recover, because today's one of those days where this round out towards our west that will continue pushing to the east will greatly determine what we see in the afternoon. That's where there's kind of two different outcomes here, and we'll talk about that in a second. Severe risk is definitely throughout all of the bluegrass and some parts of eastern Kentucky as well. Well, we're mostly looking at our chances for strong straight line winds. It's the greatest threat, and then also a chance for a spin up tornado or two, a short-lived one. Definitely something to keep your eye on. Tornadic potential, not zero, but it is low for today, but still stay weather aware, as our risks definitely show that wind and heavy rain are the greatest at our medium risk, and you also have a chance for localized flooding associated with that heavy rain. So when we go through Max Track National, this is our big suspect here. Low pressure situated over Chicago and parts of western Illinois. That's going to be a very slow-moving front. And as we go over to Future Track, it continues to push off towards the east as the morning goes on. So here's the first round. That's what we're mostly watching this morning. That's going to push off to the east. And what builds in the back will be very important. If we see dry air, if we see sunshine and lack of storms on the back end, that gives us more fuel for the second round to arrive. If these storms are slower moving, they will decrease the amount of energy we have in the atmosphere because you don't have a time to recover with the sun. So definitely important to watch. As of now, it's looking like we'll see some dry time, and what that'll do will fuel up the second round. That's going to arrive later in the afternoon, and here's where we could see some of our stronger storms, our strong straight line winds and wind gusts. You can even look into our tornadic potential also into the afternoon. So I do think we'll see those slow-moving storms this morning. We'll have some time in the afternoon to recover, and then we'll watch these second round to arrive later on today, and that will continue throughout the evening hours as this front continues to move slowly across all of the Commonwealth, basically throughout the weekend, meaning, well, we're going to see storms tomorrow. Now, severe chances for tomorrow, very low. Today is going to be the day you're going to want to stay weather aware. 81 degrees, that's the high. Strong to severe storms possible. Make sure you are staying weather aware. Have multiple ways to receive alerts. The LEX 18 Storm Tracker weather app, great app to have. Leave the ringer on as well, and just make sure you have your alerts. Just if you are heading outside today, stay weather aware.